Today we're talking about Enneagram 3, the achiever. In last week's video, we discussed Enneagram 2, the helper. What are the main characteristics, fears, motivations, and how does this Enneagram type behave or feel in times of stress versus times of health and development. So in this video, we will do a similar job and talk about Enneagram 3. So all about that in the next few minutes. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's dive in. So, Enneagram 3, or the achiever, is often associated with the archetype of a person that is extremely performance-oriented, a person that is extremely driven to achieve, to be better, to be very successful in whatever they do. And this is something that we often find to be true in these people's professional lives or academic lives. They will often be those people who will want to be perfect, who will want to have the most outstanding results, to be the top performer in their company or the best person in their class, right? But this is not always like the only facet of their personality, because there are quite a lot of instances when Enneagram 3 is actually quite interested in being successful in everything, right? Maybe they take up a new hobby and they want to perform very well, or maybe they want to be very good in the way that they deal with their relationships, have some sort of achievements in the way that they make their partners feel. It can have a lot of multiple facets and angles that we can kind of embark on and look at this. But in particular, we will most often see this happening in their careers or educational lives or academic lives. Now, Enneagram 3 is part of the feeling triad or the heart triad, similarly to Enneagram 2. And I discussed the general aspects related to the feeling triad in a previous video. But I'm still going to touch a little bit on that today. So because of being part of this triad, Enneagram 3 struggles with a deep feeling of shame or embarrassment. And because this is something that they want to avoid, something that they really do not want to feel, they will do whatever in their power to avoid feeling that shame or embarrassment. They will start focusing on understanding things from the perspective of doing, achieving, having results, having success, and proving to themselves, and of course after that to other people as well, that they are worthy of love and appreciation. Because the people in the feeling triad or the heart triad often struggle with issues related to identity. This will of course apply as well to Enneagram 3. They will often want to make sure that their identity is special enough, different enough, interesting enough, good enough, so that they actually deserve that love, that appreciation, that respect from the people that they care about the most. They often feel like if they're not the best at their jobs, if they're not top performers, if their results are not outstanding, then other people will say, well, you're not good enough. You're not worthy of me giving you my love. So their focus will be so much on what they do and way too little on who they are. And it's ironic, right? Because identity is much more about who you are than what you do. And Enneagram 3 wants to tap into that who am I, but the focus will inevitably always be, at least in times when they're not aware of their tendencies, of their patterns, on what am I doing? What am I achieving? What are my results? Sometimes Enneagram 3 can mistype for Enneagram 1 or 5 because both of these types tend to be very competency oriented. They care about results and they care about being good at what one does. But the difference is that Enneagram 3 cares more about the results that show, more about the results that other people can see, more about the feedback that other people are giving them based on their performance. And they care more about this than their actual knowledge and expertise in a topic. Sure, sometimes they will be correlated, and because they learn so much and work so much, they will develop skills. But sometimes it's not the case, and their core motivation is to focus on having something good, amazing, that others will be able to see as well, that others will be able to appreciate as well. And they will be so hard pressed, they will be so anxious when these results fail to happen, and that other people will tell them, okay, I'm not happy with what you did, I'm disappointed in you, the results that you provided are not really top notch, or there's other people who are performing better than you. They will feel so horrible that they will get into this loop where they will try even harder and harder and harder. But of course, it's not possible to always be perfect. So they are doomed to failure in this kind of sense, right? But overall, if Enneagram 3 is so stressed, when Enneagram 3 goes through a time where there's so much pressure and they're not managing to live up to their very high expectations of how their performance should be like, they will do what basically all Enneagram types do, and they will move to another type from which they will take certain negative characteristics, right? The characteristics that are associated with the more, let's say, dark personality, right? In their case, they will move to Enneagram 9, the peacemaker. And they will kind of borrow traits that are related to being in the background. Traits related to, okay, I've done so much, I've put in so much effort to be good and perform. It's not happening. I'm not receiving the love and appreciation that I want. So I'm gonna fall into the background. I'm going to hide. And I'm just gonna be there, not getting involved, not putting my whole heart and soul into it, but actually just being, not caring, not getting involved anymore. This kind of detachment, unhealthy detachment, that will inevitably push them into even worse states. So it's important for Enneagram 3 to be aware of this, to have a conscious understanding that if I go down this road, things will not really be that amazing for me. And from a different perspective, they can actually grow, they can actually mature and start moving towards another type from which they can borrow positive traits. Enneagram 6. This is the house where Enneagram 3 moves in times of development, growth, and maturity. So they will start looking more like Enneagram 6 in terms of being caring and being loyal and being supportive, and using that exceptional, motivator skills that they have, those exceptional performance-oriented thinking patterns to help other people as well, to support groups of people, to be dedicated at their workplace and make sure that things are taken care of, not just for the image, but also because they care about what's going on deep down, what other people need, what is the responsible thing to do. And this will change them a lot. It will boost their personality and move them into a sphere where they're, much more in tune with the actual values of this type, with the actual gifts of this personality type. Because at their best, 3s can be exceptionally good at motivating others, at being inspiring and, kind of pushing other people to jump into action, do things, perform. That's why we often find this type to be highly associated with extroverted types. If we correlate it with MBTI, very likely to find it among ESTPs, ENTPs, ENTJs, ESTJs, but also ENFPs and ESFPs. I find that it's more common among people that are both extroverted and thinker types, but nonetheless we can find it among other types as well. It's just that these are the most common pairings. So because they have this, driven nature, this dedicated nature, they want to make things happen, they want to perform, they can actually be quite charming. And people will like being around them because they get inspired to also do things, to also have performance, to also be exceptional into what they do. And if type 3 does this from a place of, I really care, I'm not going to do this just because I want to be appreciated by others, but I want to do this because this actually matters to me, other people will be able to feel it as well. And they will really appreciate it. they will really care about it. They will really be inspired to do the same. So this is basically the most stellar characteristic of this type and the gift that it can bring into the world. But it's very important for this type, as it is with all of the other types, to become aware of those intrinsic pains and intrinsic issues that they might have, right? And to push things, to move things towards growth from a positive perspective, from the perspective of let's do our best and be proud of ourselves without just caring about what other people think of our performance. So thank you guys, thank you a lot for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you haven't already, please follow this series of videos on the Enneagram. I've been talking about Enneagram 2 and also some more introductory videos on Enneagram generally and the three triads: feeling, thinking and instinctive. See you next week with another video, and all the best to you.